And this is a world where people saw gods in everything, everywhere. So the thunder, the tides coming in, the wind blowing, that's all evidence of divinity that they're surrounded by. So what we're trying to do is take the audience and put them in that world and put them in that mindset.
The latest trailer for writer and director Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey shows that the filmmaker is likely delivering what may be his most epic blockbuster yet. Shot almost entirely on location and on IMAX 70mm film, the first of its kind in cinema history, the trailer promises large-scale battles, mythical monsters, and even the gods themselves. And of course, that is all to be expected. What I didn't expect is how otherworldly Nolan's vision really seems. Obviously, the presence of Polyphemus, Homer's famous cave-dwelling Cyclops, immediately lands the story in the realm of make-believe. But it is the casting, costumes, and cinematography that separate this modern epic from sword and sandal adventures of the past. The director's signature muted blue and gray palette instantly tells viewers they're in for a much more haunting retelling than the often warm and colorful images of films like Jason and the Argonauts and Clash of the Titans, or even 2004's Troy. And so, from its color timing alone, we can see that Nolan wants to evoke as much of the sorrow of Odysseus' journey as he does the pulse-pounding swells of battle. If you were lucky enough to catch the 5 minutes shown before Avatar 3 and Project Hail Mary, depicting the Trojan horse plot, you know that the film will still maintain Nolan's ticking clock pacing. The star-studded cast is also a clear sign that the film will be operating in the tradition of old Hollywood epics, where the very presence of the names involved added a layer of gravitas to an already distinguished production. Matt Damon as Odysseus will no doubt bring an everyman quality to the often stoic character, his casting a kind of shortcut to likability. With his appearance in Dune Part 3 at the end of the year, 2026 seems to be Robert Pattinson's heel turn, here playing the arrogant suitor Antinous, sometimes pronounced Antinous, who ruthlessly pursues Odysseus' wife, Penelope, played by a typically stellar Anne Hathaway. We also get brief glimpses at Tom Holland's Telemachus, Odysseus' son, John Bernthal's Menelaus, the king of Sparta, John Leguizamo as swineherd Eumaeus, Charlize Theron as Calypso, the nymph who takes Odysseus captive, and Elliot Page buried in mud, although the character he plays has yet to be confirmed, with some speculating Hermes, the messenger god. However, beyond its star power, Nolan's decision to have his main players speak in flat American accents has, unsurprisingly, spurred a wave of complaints across the fandom. This backlash is understandable given that we as audience members have been conditioned to expect characters in ancient settings to speak in British accents. That being said, the snippets of dialogue we hear also indicate that Nolan is seeking to modernize the emotions and language of these classical figures, and is intentionally veering away from the often stilted and distant characters the genre can fall victim to. And finally, there are the costumes, which have been a focal point for controversy since the very first production photo was released, primarily decried for both flagrant historical inaccuracy and a lack of ancient world colors. Others have criticized their sterile aesthetic, with Agamemnon's imposing black armor appearing to be fresh off the factory floor. But I suppose all of this boils down to whether or not you are willing to give the benefit of the doubt to Nolan and accept his tapestry wholeheartedly. To me, it's clear that history plays no part here, and rather we are being given a dark fantasy from cinema's foremost visionary, a tale playing out in a world as close to our own as Middle-earth. In a sense, this is Nolan's Lord of the Rings. It's possible that by shooting against historical backdrops, a kind of wonder and mysticism will be evoked from the sheer size and grandeur of the image projected on screen, the filmmaker perhaps harnessing the inherent awe of nature itself to suggest a greater meaning through his lens alone. In the end, once the lights go down and the screen opens up, if the characters and story shine through, all of these superficial grievances will dissipate. And if a Christopher Nolan film guarantees anything, it's that you'll be swept away to another time, another place, from the very first frame. So tell me what you think of the first full trailer for The Odyssey. Will Nolan hit another home run, or do you see troubled waters ahead? As always, everyone, thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, go ahead and click like below and feel free to share. And don't forget to find me on Patreon at /LeightonEversol, where you'll gain early access to my channel's content and more. And of course, if you want to see more videos just like this one, go ahead and click subscribe.